All right, welcome to Tables, Ladders, and Conversations. I'm Deremy Dove, and I'm joined by my tag team partner, Tim Lewis, and we are recording this on Sunday night, August 2nd, right after the conclusion of night two of Summerslam 2026, which was in Minneapolis. I think Minneapolis did a good job hosting this weekend from what I can see. But man, a lot happened this weekend, but a lot happened this second night, Tim Lewis. So I want to know, what are your thoughts about the event overall? How'd you feel?
Man, I feel like overall, definitely better than WrestleMania this year,
Yeah.
without question. I can see why they were going all out to make SummerSlam big, if not just as big as WrestleMania, especially considering how underwhelming and underperforming WrestleMania was this past year. So they definitely went all out. They definitely did their big one. So yeah, man, I'm still like on the high, especially from that main event from night two. Like, it just ended, it just went off. So yeah, I'm pumped right now. So definitely hands off to them.
So yeah, I think we got to talk about, like, you're right. The main event, I think, between Seth and Roman Reigns
Chef's kiss.
was
Mm,
the match of the event.
yes,
I think arguably is up there, one of the best matches of the year.
quite possibly.
And I think they did a great job of storytelling and closing their story out. And I
Yes,
think kudos to both of these guys for giving one hell of a match. And this was the ultimate main event. There was Punk and Cody, there was Brock, Oba, but this was the ultimate main event of
yes,
SummerSlam 2026.
yeah, man. This delivered on all levels, like you said, storytelling, the intensity, the drama, like everything. Even the little homage to Moxley, aka Ambrose, there somewhere in the middle, and then at the end when they did the fist pump, the fists together and everything like that. Like it was just beautiful, man. Just beautiful storytelling, start to finish. Like I know we sometimes we drag on it like it's Roman and Seth again, but we really think about it, they really haven't faced each other in a match that much. Not as much as like Cena and Randy Orton, but they've had like a lot of like encounters, like whether backstage or just promos against each other. They've only faced each other in a match maybe twice in the last 2 years before this.
No, but they were just always around. It was
Yeah,
always going back to for the
that's the
past
thing.
3, 4 years even, and
Yeah,
even actually before,
yeah, yeah. They've
throughout
always
this time.
yeah, they've always been around each other, but they haven't like faced each other in the match. This is like the first time I want to say maybe in 10 years. I think they've actually had like an actual one-on-one match where it's just the two of them that
You
they were.
sure? I felt like they've had a one-on-one match.
Okay, I'm sorry. At
What
least
is
in
it?
the past 4 years. I'm sorry, Royal Rumble from 22. Yes.
Yeah, they had that, and then
Yeah, Rumble from 22, but that's still a while though. That's still like a good little while because after that we just had, the tag match at WrestleMania 40 with Rock and Cody, and then WrestleMania 41, the triple threat that also included CM Punk. You also had Paul Heyman in the background. This was like the first time in like 4 years where it was just them two as the focus.
yeah, but you also have Survivor Series when
You think they're
Punk
gonna run?
returned in
Oh yeah,
2023, about
yeah,
them teaming up. That was all about them being on the same team. That was all about them 2 still. So they've still always kind of been around each other and been involved, like, still, like, that I think that's where it was kinda like, "Let's end this story," because it was still coming back to these guys and bringing it up, and it was like, "We need to end it." So then I'm like, "Let's end it." That's what I said to you when we were talking about it earlier this week, and I do think that they did ended it well, and I hope, like, they put it to bed, like, they can move past it, and they did a great job with it.
yes,
I don't think the critiques weren't warranted about let's move past it, but they did a good job of saying, "Okay, this was a good ending."
yes. Yeah, they did a good job. I hope this is the last time. This is the perfect ending to a rivalry. Just like, Rock and Austin at WrestleMania 19, that was the perfect end to their rivalry. The end of an era, you could say, or Triple H and Undertaker and the end of an era, Hell in a Cell match at
Mm.
WrestleMania 28, end of an era. You could kind of make a case that this is the end of an era, at least for like these guys. I mean, their careers aren't done yet, but we know, as Seth said in the promo a few weeks ago, they're a lot closer to the end than they are to the beginning.
Mhm.
So I feel like while their careers aren't finished yet, this is the end of an era, at least for the Shield. the final chapter in the Shield saga, I feel like. So that's what I mean by
Yeah.
the end of an era.
And I will say this, I think they for a faction in the Shield that to me was just okay at best, wasn't anything special. These 2 having the solo careers that they've had, and especially picking up from 2020 to present day, has made it worth it, I guess, and made the telling the Shield story because they've continued to rise. Seth has been there to me longer, but he still kinda had to reinvent himself a bit too, post and find a new kinda character and do some other things, but really Roman from 2020 to now, still Tim Lewis, he's on an all-time run, and I mean, there's a reason why you gotta acknowledge him,
Knowledge.
and I mean, it's just there's something about him, there's a presence that a Cody Rhodes, even a CM Punk is great, and I love the best in the world, but I'm like, there's a charisma about Roman that man that he brings. He's not the greatest talker. He's improved a lot, but you can't keep your eyes off of him. And even though he's worked with great talent, it's not him alone. He gives you great main events.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, he doesn't have to be like The Rock. Yes, he is related to The Rock, but he doesn't have to be The Rock on the mic or anything. He has his own swag. He does his own thing. And someone said Roman does his best talking like mid match. Like
Hmm.
you pay attention, like he's talking
He's done
trash.
it many times. Yeah,
He's like when he's talking to Seth, and Seth wouldn't stay. He's like, I'm number one, you're number two. You're like, you're you know what I'm saying?
he does
Like
that a lot. Yeah.
and it's like it just comes off just effortlessly. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just too smooth with it. That's just part of his charm, part of his swag that he has with his tribal chief persona. He's just being. You can tell he's comfortable. He's being himself, and the fact that he's kind of been the same character for the last 6 years. And you talking about Seth? He's made changes. That's an interesting contrast between them too, because outside of Roman, turning face, going from heel to face, that's the only change he's really made, but he's basically been the same character. Seth, he's had like 3 different character changes in that time from 2020 to now,
Yeah.
from Monday Night Rollins to the Monday Night Messiah, the Visionary, you know what I'm saying? Like, and who knows whatever he's on this rebirth arc now and stuff like that. So he's changed, you know, character gimmicks and stuff more than Big Show and Jericho turned heel and face and stuff. You know.
So yeah, I think that was a great way to close out.
Yes.
I think this I'm happy to me SummerSlam WWE has been on a I think all year long. I haven't liked the PLE. Like I haven't felt great after a PLE or even kind of good. This is the first one of 2026 in my opinion that I'm like this was a good PLE, a really good PLE I think
Yeah, yeah,
overall.
they needed this for sure. They
Yeah.
needed this. Like, I know, okay, box office might say otherwise. Like, okay, they can say, oh, they had the biggest gate here for this arena or this stadium, but quality wise, booking wise, like it has to match. It's like the booking ain't matching. Like, it's like, yeah, you're gonna sell out, maybe, but the quality of booking that's gonna tell you everything you need to know. It's like, was the show enjoyable? Did everything make sense? You know what I'm saying? This is like the first time since this year, basically, where everything just kind of connected. You know what I'm saying? Now, was it perfect? Probably not. I mean, that's up in the air. You know what I'm saying? That's up for determination. But I do feel like overall, this was a passable a PLE. Definitely better than WrestleMania. Definitely better than any pay per view or PLE for WWE that came out this year. And
Yeah.
yeah. So good job. They just pat themselves on the back, man, and just keep the momentum going.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Hopefully.
Because we had talked during the week about some booking decisions that didn't make sense that should have been a part of this PLE, but I think in spite of the questionable booking, they did have a good event here for both nights, and they're making it feel it's the first time that I'm like, okay, maybe SummerSlam can be 2 nights. The past few years, I was kinda like, the way they're doing this, you could put all this in one night, man. They're not bringing it, but this is the first time I'm like, yeah, maybe SummerSlam can join WrestleMania as a two-night event.
Yeah, I thought the same way too. I still think, because I'm a little bit more old fashioned, I do feel like, it should be one night and it should go back to just being in arenas. And WrestleMania should be the only event of the year that should be, in the stadiums. and maybe you can justify being 2 nights as well because it is that big. But me personally, I just think it's more serviceable if it's just one night. But like you said, hey, they came to play, they took a shot and they hit. You know what I'm saying? So I guess the 2 night thing is here to stay, and it was successful. So hey, we'll see how they go and how they carry the momentum into next year and go on beyond that.
And I can say I was wondering throughout the night if this what our next topic was gonna be the highlight of the night, which happened so early, but the main event did live up to main event status and eclipsed it. But we have the return of Kevin Owens tonight, Tim Lewis,
Oh yes,
and
I
it's
I, I
good to
was wait.
see him.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to bring that up too, man. Because I popped. I was at the house. I popped, but I was like, because when Nick Aldis he comes out, opens the show, and I'm sure we'll get Nick Aldis too later on. But when he comes out, opens the show, says he's going to do his job fairly. He's going to call it down the middle. He brings out Gunther, and I'm just like, well, damn, Gunther working double duty. I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely going to win this match. You know what I'm saying? Just to build more heat and stuff. And this was actually a match that this number one contender match. This is a match that I called to be one of the sleepers for this weekend. And not only was it a sleeper, it over delivered. It
Can you
superseded.
really count that though?
I
Because you
mean,
called it, and the two people who were booked to be in this match were really like whatever,
I mean, it would have
you
been.
know.
It was. I mean, well, it just added the. It was like we got the cake and then we got the extra icing. And
You can't take credit for this one.
look, they look. We got the cake and they added a little extra icing and the cherry on
For
top.
those who don't know, Tim and I talked on Wednesday and we were talking about it, and I asked him about a sleeper match, and he said at the time it was just Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. And I think WWE recognized that ain't cutting nothing. So thank goodness they made a decision. They swerved, bro, with Gunther
Swerve.
because they need somebody who's interesting in that match because Finn Balor and Sammy aren't. And then they went really interesting and really shocking by bringing out the guy that the men's division really needed and have
They
needed
did.
for a
They,
long time.
Yeah,
KO.
yeah, and we said for a long time that WWE is sorely missing KO. He's definitely like he doesn't need to be like face the company, but he's just someone that's just a good role player. Like he can play
Yes,
a
yes.
good face, a good heel. He can be serious. He can be comedic. He's a great worker in the ring.
Hmm.
And I hope hey, thank goodness first and foremost he's able to get healthy. He came back because that neck injury he could have ended up like Big E. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
we
we
thought we
people were wondering if he was going to retire, and we everybody, you do what you have to do for yourself, for your family. Health is the most important thing. So I think anyone with good sense would have understood if he did retire. 'Cause like you said, Big E, Edge was out for those 9 years with it. You know,
Paige,
yeah, yeah, we know what Kurt Angle went through with
Daniel
his
Bryan.
neck. Yeah, necks are nothing to, I mean, to play with. So I know you were and I were at talks. We were wondering if he was going to come back because, like you said, he's a valuable role player. He's like a six man off the bench, and can come in there and give you good matches and good storylines with pretty much anyone. And hopefully WWE takes advantage of this. I think they already starting off by him winning and him being in that number one contender spot. And I'm thinking this could be a good little thing to get going here with him and Gunther. If they do it right, I think I would have him and Gunther come and give me a good
Yeah, I
battle.
yeah, I can see him and Gunther. I think they had a match, a few matches before, like
Mhm.
prior. I think back when Gunther was still Intercontinental Champion, but him and Punk, because Punk is the world champion that he's number one contender for. So, and they kind of teased that a little too before Kevin went away. So, right around the time when Punk came back, and they sort of have history, especially like in real life, because Kevin Owens is known that he's cool with the Young Bucks over in AEW. We know CM Punk has real life heat with them and the Elite Boys over there. So I wonder how that dynamic's going to play out. Like, especially, I can't wait for them to go at it on the mic. Like that's gonna, I think that's going to be amazing with them two going on the mic because you never know what they're going to say. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Kevin Owens. Big win for him, big comeback. It's crazy. Like this is the second event of the year where we had a surprise appearance from somebody that came back from a serious injury. Well, Paige wasn't technically injured, but it was a big surprise, and they come back have a big win. So definitely a good surprise. And SummerSlam once again living up to that reputation of giving us those big surprise returns and stuff. And Kevin Owens, he wasn't the only big surprise at SummerSlam this weekend either. You know,
Mm. No, that's true. That is true. But I still, I guess, want to stick on another highlight of Sunday. In my opinion, this was number 3. Some may vary. Some may say Chad Gable was number 3, but I think the women's ladder match and Chelsea Green getting the W was number
yeah,
3 for
yeah,
me.
yeah. Wow, yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Like this weekend overall was better than Mania, but I feel like night two, like night one was okay. I
Night
feel
1
like
was okay.
yeah, it was okay. It was serviceable. Night two, man, it cooked. It really cooked. It really did.
It did minus the Danhausen, that was a waste of time.
Well, yeah, yeah, more or less the human monies on the pole. It was definitely giving WCW Judy Bagwell on the pole bias for
It
sure.
was a
But
waste of
well,
it was a blemish here. It was just
well,
a it was the only blemish on night 2.
well, for events like this, and when you have a card this stacked, you kind of need matches like that. You know, to kind of like give you a breather or something like that, like the
I
gimmick
don't think
battle
so.
royal, like the gimmick battle royal WrestleMania 17. You need matches like that to give you a breather. So, but that's just a throwaway. It's a bathroom break match. You know, it means nothing.
I really didn't love the gimmick battle royal. But as a historian, it was great to see these people who were historic, but I thought, "What?" And also, I mean, the break is with all the commercials that they show and all the other things that they do at the big PLEs at, like, a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam. That's my break, when you bring out and you announce the audience, and then you show commercial after commercial. So, I feel like back in the day, you're right, but nowadays give me the action, man, and Danhausen, I don't understand it. I
I
really
mean,
don't.
he's just over, man. He's just over. Now, I do feel like they might be overexposing him a little too much. So I'm not saying that you pull back, but I'm just saying like just dial it down just a little bit because if you overexpose him, like you could get the fans to turn on him at some point. But for right now, he is over, and you know WWE they all about the money. So whoever's drawing the most attention, they gonna push them to the front. So I mean, I'm not gonna shame anybody for getting their bread and getting their
No, no.
shines. You know what I'm saying? But I do think for WWE's sake and for Danhausen's sake, you might want to be careful and just expose them too much. You
Yeah,
know,
I
to get
say, if that's the case, then keep overexposing them quicker and more just to get it over with.
Hey, be
And
hey, be
keep getting your money, but it's just whatever, but
hey,
I
be
don't know.
careful. Be careful. He might curse you.
Mhm.
Hey,
We'll
hey,
see.
he hasn't been wrong yet. That's the crazy thing. He hasn't been wrong yet. He cursed Argentina in the World Cup, and look what happened. Look what him uncursing the Knicks did for them and their success.
You guys are crazy with
So be
this.
careful because he might curse the Philadelphia Eagles or something like that. So be careful. You know.
I love it if we can break that streak. We break the Danhausen curse. But Chelsea Green,
Yes. Yes.
in a match that I thought was very good. I thought the ladder match was very entertaining. What do you think this says about her being the interim women's WWE champion here?
Yeah, as great as the moment was, and I'm extremely happy for Chelsea. She definitely deserves it, earned it. She's someone that, doesn't say no. So like she'll take anything they give her, whether it's getting squashed, whether it's being a joke or something like that. She'll work any type of position they put her in. But she can also work too. Like we've seen her wrestle. She can wrestle pretty good, especially if you go back to like when she was in Lucha Underground. She had this awesome intergender match with Penta. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That was crazy. You know what I'm saying? That WWE would never allow. So we know she can go, but she can play just like Kevin Owens. Like she's basically the female Kevin Owens. Basically, she can
I
work.
don't know about that.
Well, you look at the
That's a
track
big
record.
statement.
If you look at the track record, and we gotta see what happens. With an interim title reign. I mean, but as great as the moment is, and I'm extremely happy for her, the reality is she's just holding the belt. She's interim champion. So she's not like it's not
But
official yet.
do you think they're gonna do something? Do you think she's transitional? Like she'll have it and then give it up in a couple weeks at best or
I
something? Or
I don't think I don't know if they'll do her that dirty, but I feel like when Rhea comes back, like I said, they'll probably do like a title unification thing. And I'm sure we can all expect Rhea's probably going to mop the floor with her. But they've been building up Chelsea the last few weeks and stuff. She's been like a credible face. She's building herself up as a credible face. So maybe it probably won't be as one sided. I don't know what happened. Like I don't know what they're planning when Rhea gets back. But I imagine the typical thing, the logical thing to do would have a title unification match. You know what I'm saying? Because people
Well,
want to see
I'm just
competition.
wondering because
You
Rhea's
know,
not supposed to come back till a few months, or is she coming back really
was
soon?
that long? I thought
I don't
she.
know.
Damn, I mean, I know they said indefinitely, but I didn't think it would be that long. Like, what's the time frame on that? Like, what, December 2027?
No, I don't know. I mean, we're in August, so a few months, September, October. It was Survivor Series.
That's still like a long time though.
She's had a lot going on. I think she has a lot that she needs to deal
Man,
with physically and mentally.
that knee injury must be really serious
I
then.
don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just like, well, let's just go with it. Let's say she's out until October, November. So that's 2-3 months. Do you think they're going to try to see what they can do with Chelsea Green as champion? You think she's going to get main event kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think if Rhea's gonna be out that long, they don't have a timetable on her return, then yeah, I'd say go with it. Chelsea's over, she's hot. I say strike while the iron is hot. You know what I'm saying? She's been over for a long time, and people, you heard that crowd in Minnesota, they were hot. They
They
were
were.
happy. They were happy for it when she got the win. She probably got one of the biggest pops of the night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy how her winning the WWE Women's title mirrored her husband Matt Cardona winning the IC title at WrestleMania a few years back. Like almost 10 years to the date almost. You know what I'm saying? If you
Mm-hmm.
go back, you know what I'm saying, WrestleMania. So that's like a nice little full
That's back
circle.
when you were working there.
No.
Yeah.
No. Don't believe these allegations, people, for
Yeah.
y'all
That's back
watching
when
on you.
Tim was writing for WWE back when Matt won that. So that's pretty cool.
He wasn't Matt Cardona back then, he was Zack Ryder, but
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm going by what you call him, his government name.
that's what they call him on TV now.
Yeah, but that's what you called him back then when you worked with him. So I got it, but I don't know. I'm just like, are they going to really roll with Chelsea Green here?
I mean, well, also when you think just like her husband, he won the title, and then we remember he lost the title the next night to Miz right after WrestleMania. So I hope it doesn't go like that. I hope they don't do her like that. Like where she drops the title on Friday, next Friday to SmackDown to Jade or somebody like that. I hope that doesn't happen. But I do think she has at least earned a credible run. Like, she doesn't need to be champion long. Maybe like this. See what happens like a month from now. We'll see where it goes from there.
I
You know what
don't
I'm
know.
saying?
I just think like, is she ready to be like a main event player?
She's been grinding for like 15 years. She's been wrestling a long
No,
time.
but that doesn't mean you're ready to be main event in WWE at least. That doesn't necessarily mean that.
I mean, I think she's putting the time. I think she has the style. She knows the formula. She knows the style, how they work and stuff. I think she's just been waiting for. I don't think she was expecting this, but I think she has been ready though. I feel like it all depends on that. Like, everybody needs an opportunity. Like, we won't know until we give them an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So we just
No,
gotta
for
give it.
sure.
So we got. I think it's just best to just let this play out. Let it play out. See how the crowd reacts to her over the next however long they plan on keeping the title on her. And see where it goes from there. And because we don't know the timetable when Rhea gets back, and then we don't even know how they're going to resolve that situation when they do come to terms. Is Chelsea going to give up the title, or are they going to have a title unification?
Who do you book her with here? And just, I know I'm asking you on the spot here, but who do you think is a good person to kind of like, if they hold a title on her, to kind of start feuding with?
I'd say maybe Nia Jax, maybe Lash. Because right now Jade is kind of tied up with Charlotte, and they have unfinished business right now.
Mm-hmm.
I wish those two had a one-on-one match to themselves, because that felt personal. Like, as soon as the match started, you saw like Jade going right after Charlotte. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it was that heated. Like, they should have had a one-on-one match, and I feel like
I agree.
they probably would have stole the show. Like, we saw Jade and Tiffany. They low key stole the show at WrestleMania. I'm sorry, not WrestleMania. SummerSlam last year. They had a pretty sleeper match last
I
year.
feel like they
SummerSlam.
haven't had good matches since.
What, for
Both of them. I feel like that was the peak for both of them, and then they haven't had. This is
Not-
like their first and then it was
No-
5 ladies, but
no, Jade and Rhea had a decent match at WrestleMania. Come on now.
that wasn't nothing special.
Come on now.
That wasn't, man. It wasn't. It wasn't for the
Maybe
standard.
you can probably say it for Tip, but Jade, she had like her and Rhea at WrestleMania. I'm not saying it was the best, but it was serviceable. It was decent.
But what are we doing, man? Serviceable is a great thing. That's not a good standard.
It was decent.
That's
I'm not s
that's that's Tim's bar is serviceable here for a good match for a
solid.
good
It was solid.
okay. I'm saying this is the best match. We need matches as wrestling fans that are good at minimum. This was a good match.
So
Serviceable is like what
you don't
whatever.
think you don't think Jade and Charlotte would have been a great match one on one?
I think that would have been. I think
Okay.
so. I think Charlotte, Queen, she can do her thing, and I think that's a matchup people would love to see. So I was with you on that. I mean, I think it worked out okay, but I do think this could have been a great PLE. This was a good PLE. I think the things that we talked about, some of the potential matchups that was there, that being one of 'em, could have made this a great PLE if they would have done them. So they still had a good one, but it could have been great. And I think Chelsea Green is a heck of a worker. I want to see her succeed. I just don't know if she's got the main event charisma and mic skills that I need.
So you think she's a mid Carter at best?
I don't know, but that's my concern. I have to
Well,
bring up the concern.
that's why we have to see what happens. Like we won't know until you put them out there into the fire. You know what I'm saying?
For
Like
sure.
like when Daniel Bryan when he first started getting his opportunities at the world title, we didn't know. We thought he was just like a mid Carter that was a solid worker. We didn't know he could be over as like a top guy until the crowd started getting behind him, and you put him in there with the sharks, with the big dogs like John Cena, like with Roman Reigns. You know what I'm saying? With Batista, with Randy Orton, Triple H. You know what I'm saying? Then we could see like, okay, he can hang with them. Let's keep him here. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't know that until he started getting those opportunities. Like you gotta see what happens and when it
Well,
happens.
Daniel Bryan, in my opinion, was showing personality when he was the mid card guy and was
Chelsea
just
has that too.
you think what personality?
Yes.
I don't think so.
You don't think my God.
Not main event, not like that. Like
Well, okay, I see because she's too comical. Is that why you can't really take her fully serious?
no, no, I don't mind comical. I just don't think
So if she developed more of like a mean streak, like more serious, would that make you kind of take her seriously? Like if she
you have to mix it in. You gotta mix it in. I need to you can't now when you were in the main event, you definitely can't be comical all the time. Like, you have to have good storylines that cause this is a physical soap opera. Let's not cut it short here. Like, that's what it is. So, like, you need to show that, like, in whatever way, and I mean, it's still the same, but there's a men's division and a women's division. So if you're I'm the baddest, I'm the queen bee, but I need to get that like I'm the champ. I'm here to stay. Now the post show I haven't muted, but I'm watching. She was on with Joe Tessitore and all them. I don't know how she did. I haven't muted, but like I'm curious. I want to see her do well because I want ladies division to keep kicking butt, and we need people with personality. We need the stars to really rise up here. I feel like there's a pool of talent that's kind of like in the middle right now, and I need them to shoot up. So I would love to see her shoot up. I just kind of wonder because you look in the ring. I mean, Charlotte, but you have Jade, you got Lash. You know what I'm saying? You
Tiffany.
you got Tiffany. So I'm like, are they saying Chelsea's over them
I
for
mean,
like their
you
future plans?
well out of all it was 5 ladies in the match.
Yeah.
So if Chelsea didn't win, who would you have predicted to win this before going into this? Who do you think should have won? Or who do you think would have won? You know what I'm saying? Going in before the final bell and stuff like.
I probably would have said Lash.
That's what I was thinking. She was my dark horse too, but I felt like because she came in last, she qualified last. I thought maybe she would have came in, stole the whole thing, which would have been huge for her. That
Mhm.
would have really capped off her rookie year on the main roster. Like, and she still has time. You know what I'm saying? But that would have really got her over huge. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, just tell me something, man. You guys can check it. You could check the archives on our Royal Rumble reaction show, and they both are still kind of raw, even though one of them and Raquel has been around for a while. They both you can still see some point things where it's like okay when they're working like little things they can work on. They are charisma. Lash Legend was still probably the person I was watching the most in this match tonight. even over Jade Cargill. Like, it was Lash Legend who just brought some powerful moves. I thought she sold well when she needed to sell well. I thought, but man, she has a believability. She's got that I'm the biggest and baddest, and I don't care what you think. Hate to say it, she does that even better than our beloved Bianca Belair. So I mean, like, I think she's already a better like mic worker than Bianca already.
Wow.
Hey
Better
man,
better than the ES.
at the mic. Now she doesn't have a better career. She's not better in the ring than the EST. I'm not saying that yet. She could be, but we don't know. But not right now. But I think his mic work, yeah, Lash is really good on the mic. Lash is a comfortable personality. That's a star right there, man.
I'm not denying that. Lash is definitely a star. She has star written all over, like from the looks,
This
from
Chelsea Green
yes,
has star written all over.
yes. It's just different though, because they have different personalities, different gimmicks, different styles. It's just a different style, but she is a star though. You know, I just feel like something would have to happen. Like you mentioned, like it all depends on the storytelling and who she's feuding with to start off. I think 'cause I mentioned like well Nia Jax and Lash just because they're probably the only two available heels in the women's division right now. Because like I said, Jay's tied up with Charlotte. I'm not sure who else. I don't know about Kiana James. I don't know if she's ready yet. Only thing I think this could work and make her more credible and give her like some adversity if like if Tiffany Stratton turned heel and turned on her because lately they've been teaming up. You know, we've been talking about how Tiffany's kind of like gotten stale a little bit as a face, and you know, like Tiffy time hasn't been Tiffy time lately, even though she is the United States champion, the women's US champion. But let's say something happens where Tiffany gets jealous because she wanted to be a double champ, and Chelsea took the opportunity from her, and Tiffany turns on Chelsea, attacks her, and it sets up a feud between them two. You know what I'm saying? That could add some emotional weight. You know, that can get Chelsea to turn more serious a little bit because it's like she got stabbed in the back by her best friend. You know, like that could be that could be something interesting, you know,
We'll see. Yeah, yeah, that could be.
if they're going that way. I don't know, but that's just something because I feel like there's not enough credible heels right now
I
that can
just
really
think, wow,
challenge.
I didn't think Chelsea Green was higher on the pecking order than the other ladies in that ring. Minus, I think Charlotte because they like Charlotte's doing well with the whole Alexa thing and all that. I know they tried Jade out. I still thought they're not done with Jade. It just wasn't the best. But I'm
Jay
like,
Jay will
wow,
get it.
Chelsea Green.
Nah, Jay will get it back, and I'm sure Charlotte she'll have you know another title to add to her collection, and eventually tie her father, maybe tie John Cena, you know, at some point. So Charlotte has time, Jade has time to get it back as well. I don't know. I thought it would have went to either maybe Tiffany or Lash or something like that because I feel like Charlotte didn't need it and Jade just had it not too long ago.
Yeah, Jade
So
didn't need this.
yeah, so I feel like it would have went to either Tiffany or Lash. You
I
know,
think I would have rather. I think Jade would have been on my last to see win it.
really.
Yeah, I'd rather have Charlotte get it back than
I
Jade
mean,
at this point.
for Jade, at least this time around, there's at least more credible faces. If she did win, there's more credible faces for her to face this time. Where she didn't have anybody the last time she was champion and stuff like that. They didn't give her
And
nothing.
I blame the company for that more
Yeah,
definitely more than her, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But
Because
I think right
she ain't have
now, work
nobody.
your way up, man. Work your way. You're still in like this main event kind of place, but just let me give me some better stuff here. Give me better angles with people. Give me some matches to develop here that I want to see. Don't just put her. I would not want to see the belt on her.
Well, I think this feud with Charlotte, and hope I do want to see that continue, but more one on one. Now, I don't know what the next PLE is. They haven't announced anything for September, so I'm assuming the next PLE for the main roster will be Money in the Bank. So I don't know if they're going to be in the Money in the Bank women's match, but I want to see them go at it one on one. You know, so I hope they continue this feud, and that could be a learning curve for Jade to help her get better. And she's working with one of the best with Charlotte Flair. So
Hmm.
and, you know, I heard they're kinda like besties behind the scenes too, so that also helps, you
Jade
know
and Charlotte.
yeah, like,
Yeah,
they're real tight behind the
I've
scenes.
seen some. Yeah, they look like they're really cool.
Yeah, so,
Seems like
you know
Jade's very liked behind the scenes by a lot of people, like,
yeah,
very.
despite what the internet, you know, what TV, you know, Rhea may say, it's like, you know, it's all kayfabe at the end of the day, like, I'm sure she's probably cool with a lot of people and stuff, you know,
She
so
could be cool with Rhea.
could be.
Never know. But I think, Sunday night was definitely the better night. We kinda both knew Gable and Penta would give us a good show,
Yes.
and they did.
Yeah.
And I think the story was told well for Chad to get the win.
You know what? In this, and I thought this match was gonna steal the show until the main event happened, but this was a very good match as well, and this hit all the right beats. And it's funny because this match, I don't know if they did this on purpose, but it reminded me of Bret Hart and Bulldog from '92, which coincidentally was also for the Intercontinental title. You think about it, Penta, he was basically playing Bret Hart, who was coming as a champion. Gable, because it's in his hometown,
Interesting
just
storyline. Yeah, yeah.
just like SummerSlam '92 at Wembley Stadium in London. They're in Davey Boy's home turf, so they're in Minnesota, Gable's home turf. Gable goes over just like Bulldog went over Brett. They both shook hands. And Diana, Davey Boy's wife, Brett's sister, came in, and Gable brought his family in. So it was very reminiscent of that SummerSlam
That's a good
'92.
comparison.
You
That's a
know what I'm
very
saying?
good
Even though
comparison.
this wasn't the main event like SummerSlam '92, but still, it still had a lot of that emotional
I
weight
would
and
see.
stuff.
I would look at it more like SummerSlam '91, Brett versus Perfect, where and then Brett had his parents come in the ring and all that stuff. But I look at it where it was two guys who could really work. Going, the only thing about with the Bulldog comparison, because there is a international thing as well with Gable and Penta, and the home country, hometown person won. But I think Bulldog, as we know, and if you watch that that Brett was doing 90% of the work, whereas with Brett versus Perfect, that was two
Both
great
guys,
workers
both
just
guys.
going at it, yeah, and giving you
Yeah,
great stuff.
I can see it too. Like, okay, I can see it 50-50, like from a worker's perspective, like
Mhm.
in the ring, Perfect and Brett for sure, with Chad and Penta in the ring. But for like just the storytelling of it all, like, the home field advantage and everything like that, and them having that respect for each other at the end, SummerSlam '92. You know what I'm saying? And also the fact that Bulldog and Brett were both faces, and Penta and Gable were both faces in this situation too. So that
Yeah,
all ties
that
that all ties it together.
I think yeah, I think you're right, there's elements of both, and I think, like, so I agree with you on that, and I just think in '91, Brett winning it was a breakthrough. That was, like, really the stepping stone of him becoming the new face after Hogan, was that Intercontinental win over Perfect. I'm not gonna put that on Chad Gable, maybe, though, the way he's hot and people are looking at him. This was a breakthrough for Chad Gable tonight. That's why for Bulldog in '92, that wasn't really a breakthrough, that was that moment, and then he was Davy Boy again.
Yeah, now if I'm Triple H, I'm paying attention to this match very closely because you have two guys. They may not be like the tallest or biggest in size, but these are two guys that you can really, I'm not saying they gotta be face of the company, but these are two guys that you can really build up and be one of your top stars of the company. Like, we need to get back to that time where, you had multiple top guys at once, where back in the Attitude Era, we got spoiled. We had multiple top guys in the main event picture. We had The Rock, we had Stone Cold, we had Undertaker, Kane, Triple H, Kurt Angle, The Big Show. So many top guys at once that you can interchange them and swap them out of the world title picture. And Chad Gable, they're already saying he's like the next Kurt Angle. You see Penta, he's getting comparisons to Rey Mysterio all the time. So those are two top guys that you can really build the company on. Speaking of Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, like those are two other people that also had an awesome match at SummerSlam way back in 2002. You know what I'm saying? So that also brings it full circle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Real quick, I just wanna ask, did you like that they had Penta tap out?
I thought he was going to get out of it. I thought, you know what I'm saying? I thought we were going to get like a little bit more. I'm not. Has he tapped out before? I believe he's tapped out before, right?
In WWE, you're saying,
Yeah,
or
has
in
he
his
tapped out?
career?
Yeah, in WWE.
Yeah, I think he might have tapped out before. I think so. I'm not positive, but
Yeah, I mean, if it was anybody else, like John Cena at Saturday Night's Main Event in his last match, if it was anybody else, I might feel a type of way. But it's like it added to the drama and stuff like that, and they had a grueling match, so it's like, it's not like Penta's Roman Reigns or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Where
okay.
I don't think it hurts him in any way. Like, it was a great match. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it was an uphill battle and stuff like that. Penta was working on Chad's shoulder. Chad was working on his ankle the whole time with the ankle lock. So it
Yeah,
made
I thought it was a good match. I
yeah,
thought it was good.
good match, great storytelling. Great back and forth, emotional too at the end,
It
and
was a little too much with the family at the end, like, it just
yeah, yeah.
way too many in the ring,
I wasn't expecting a speech either, but I mean, hey, I'm
and
glad they get
the corny, you know,
the mascot. Yeah,
the root beer. I like
yeah,
root beer, but
yeah,
no.
yeah. The mascot and the root beer is a little bit much, but I mean, you gotta think like Chad Gill, he's been grinding, busting his ass, for years, for a decade plus, and I feel like he's earned that, and just to have that moment with his family, so that is nice of WWE to kind of give
It's
him that
not it
moment with his
just was
family.
way too many of 'em
Yeah.
and way too long, and I kinda would've been good with him just, like, going out the ring and hugging them,
Mhm.
honestly. Like, I would've been good with that, like, hugging and then if you wanna give him the mic, we'll say something, fine, and then, like, on to the next. But, speaking of tapping out, I think this is a good place to transition to night 1 with Nick Aldis and Gunther. Now, people were surprised by Nick Aldis' appearance on the Twitter, on the interwebs. Everyone was
Really?
talking about it. I'm like, Nick Aldis looks yoked even in his suits all the time. I'm like, what did you
Right.
think he looked like? Like,
Every week on SmackDown, it looks like his suits are holding on for dear life.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, so people are like, look how Nick Aldis looks. I go, I kind of told you that. Like, I would have been surprised if he didn't look like that because he looks like that in a suit. And I feel like not a lot of people look yoked in a suit unless they are very yoked people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's even some yoked people who in a suit, like, you can't, they're like, oh, they're kind of a big guy, but you can't tell they're yoked. He's got muscles showing through, like, his three-piece suit. So, like, I'm kind of like, why are people surprised? Like, I expected him to look good physically. Now, how do you think he looked in the ring against Gu?
I thought for his first match in 3 years, I think he did pretty good. I
I
feel
thought he did
like
okay, yeah.
yeah, I thought he did pretty good. They didn't not too much, but not too little. You know what I'm saying? It was a solid match. He had a good showing, and now that he's been reinstated as GM again, I feel like maybe what they're going. I don't know what they're going to do if I'm going forward. I guess for right now, he's going to be a GM. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I don't know where do you place him at
Well,
if
I
he's a
was watching the post show of night one, Saturday night. It was a cool moment. He's getting interviewed. Triple H walks up and he's like, "Here, my letter of resignation."
yeah.
And Triple H says some nice words, about hey, you act like he was wrong, you were wrong, but you always been a man of your word. You guys, you handled like a man. He ripped it up. So I like Nick Aldis and I like Adam Pierce and the GM. I like them both honestly in GM roles, and I think they both do a good job. They're both entertaining parts of their nights of Monday night and Friday night. So I'm glad. I didn't think Nick Aldis was going to be leaving the company anyway, but I think I don't know. I want to see him in the ring often, but
I
I
think
think as a GM, yeah,
Yeah, well, I'll say this about Pierce and Aldis, and I'll get back just to Aldis. So I think Aldis and Pierce are probably two of the best on-screen authority figures we've had in a long time. I
hmm
feel like because one, they're not playing to either side. Where like in the past we've had like heel bosses, heel GMs, or whatever like that, or on the Teddy Long side of things, we had face authority figures. You know what I'm saying? Where they
one
play,
on one with the Undertaker,
and it's gonna be a tag team match player.
with the Undertaker. Everybody,
And if Taker wasn't available, he'd get Randy Orton on you.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was cool for the time, but that was like more cartoonish. Where now it's like more grounded in reality. Where Pierce and all this, like they're clearly baby faces, but they call it down the middle. Like they're not playing either side. Like they call it down the middle, and sometimes they make the tough calls. The fans don't like it, but then they give you something else that makes them cheer, stuff like that. So they call it fair. I like that about them. You know what I'm saying? Because the authority figures, at least in this era, because we don't have Vince McMahon no more. We don't have Eric Bischoff or none of them. No Teddy Long. So I think the authority figures don't need to take up screen time or dominate the storylines and stuff like that.
I agree.
It should be focused on the talent, the wrestlers in the ring. But they
All,
play their roles
all
well.
that being said, you could have just had Gunther in the number one contender match the whole time. And like you said, have Nick Aldis, which I still would have liked more, him going against Drew McIntyre. I mean, it was a nice moment. I mean, Mickey James came out and the son and all that. I don't know. I'm getting a little tired of some of these, like, fam
Too many family reunions.
I don't need I'm not watching the Hallmark Channel. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not watching Hallmark here. When you do it occasionally, then you feel it. But when it just happens routinely, I'm just so Nick Aldis family come out, then Chad Gable family. I'm like, all
I
right, now
mean,
I don't
I
care.
I think that was just purely coincidence. Now, had this match against Drew at WrestleMania like they were supposed to, I think they could have had that there where Mickey and his son came out. Then you could have did Gable his thing at SummerSlam tonight. But I mean, I think it's just purely coincidence. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure like they
Coincidence.
work maybe I don't know, but they just want
Come
their
on,
families.
you
They just
work
want their
there. You
families
know
to
it ain't
be there.
coincidence. You work there. There's nothing about WWE TV that's coincidence. You know that for your years working there. What are you doing here?
I don't know anything. I
You
cannot
wrote,
confirm.
you were a
I cannot.
producer. It is very scripted into the T of what they want to show. So they want to show if the families didn't, they would cut away. They want the family show. You know that better than I do.
I mean, well, it was great seeing Mickey James back though. So
Sure.
yeah. But anyway, I mean, he didn't do too much too little in the ring, and I think with him being GM, it's like because if he's a full time wrestler again, like where do you put him at? I mean, he looks like $1,000,000. It looks like he should be in the main event like tomorrow. Like put him against the world champion like tomorrow, man, because he looks like he's ready for the main event. And I don't think he's done in the ring, but I think they'll use him sparingly going forward. Like when Drew does get back, maybe they pick up where they leave
I
off, and
mean,
we
is
get
is
Drew and all
Nick
this
Aldis the most yoked person in the company?
right now.
I think, yeah, there's nobody more like yoked where I was almost like, there's no way you're not doing some kind of juice.
I think he has Roman beat right now. I
Yeah,
feel like.
yeah. Roman looks like he could be kind of, he could maybe convince me he's natural. Maybe.
Well, that's because Roman takes those breaks and stuff too, so he has
Yeah,
time. He has time to like do
yeah.
a
Hey,
proper
he's
workout
got
regimen.
that bloodline running through him.
And Brock too.
Yeah. Brock, we know is not natural. Even now, I think he's like half and half. Or he took so much of it, it ain't leaving his system.
So
But
you don't think he's what eating the cow and then burning it off, working out like 6 hours a day?
you still are like, see, doing steroids doesn't, you work harder, like, you have to work out more. So, like, you don't just do you don't just do steroids and sit down, like, you gotta work out. So, I believe Brock definitely was a natural athlete and a workout fiend, but yeah, Nick Aldis he looked good, but I was surprised at the shock of him looking physically good. And, he did work with Gunther. Gunther made him look good.
Yes.
And, the tap out, this is one tap out they got right. Like Nick Aldis needed to tap out, in my opinion.
You think you need to tap out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you think? What I know he'll probably be back in the ring. Do you think we'll see Nick Aldis back in the ring in the near future?
I think occasionally we will. I don't think he'll be like a full time guy,
Do
but
you think he need after this match? Do you think he needs to get back in the ring?
no.
Okay.
I'm not yearning for like more Nick Aldis. Not from what I saw last night. I'm not saying he can't give us more. Maybe he can. But from what I saw, that was enough. And the occasional he comes in, like if you want to do it once or twice a year. So if he has one more this year, I wouldn't knock it. But I'm good if he doesn't. And if he doesn't do it again, I'm also good with that too.
Yeah.
Like
I
I
mean,
don't need it to happen.
we've seen authority figures get in the ring, i.e.
Yeah,
Triple H when
for
he was
sure.
in the authority, Vince, you know what I'm saying, plenty of times, Eric Bischoff even.
But then that kind of contradicts what you're saying. That's what you want.
I'm not saying that's what I want, but I'm saying like where I think they're gonna go
I'm just saying, yeah,
because because the way they set it up, where it seemed like he was transitioning to being a full time talent, how they set up these past few weeks, but now they put him back to being GM again. So I think they're gonna sparingly use him in the ring for like special occasions, like when Drew gets back. I'm sure we'll probably eventually get that match at some point. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm fine with him being an authority figure because they need an authority figure, somebody to represent the TV authority and stuff.
no, absolutely. And since you brought him up, the Beast. let's talk about what I guess if you go by order of matches, it was the main event. I mean, CM Punk has some words for it at the post show where he felt like when he's the main event, it was him, not Brock and Oba. And CM Punk even made some references to saying, if Oba wants to be in the big show, don't take on Roman, take on me. But CM
Def
Punk was on fire
yeah,
for the post show night one. I
def
was enjoying him.
definitely sound like some salt in that promo.
Yeah, did you see it? Did you
Yeah,
watch it
yeah,
eventually?
yeah, I did watch it. Definitely sound like some salt, but CM Punk being CM Punk, just being controversial, stirring the pot. But it was great though. It was great TV. Just adds more heat and stuff like that, and sets up potential feuds and stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with next for Punk. I mean, obviously, after seeing what happened. Like Cody's going to continue the feud with Randy, but now it looks like we're going to get Punk and Kevin Owens, so that should be good as well. So I like what they got cooking so far. So right now, SmackDown has me interested with what's going on so far. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested to see where they go with that. You know, you got Jade and Charlotte, you got KO and Punk, you got
Yeah.
Cody and Randy. You know, so I'm locked in.
I thought Punk, what I will say is about the Punk Cody match then, since we'll go there real quick. It was a good build up. They built the story up at a nice pace because it felt like, okay, this is taking a little while, and I think they did a good job of trying to. I think that was on purpose to kind of lull the crowd and the viewing audience, and like, okay, and then slowly but surely pick it up with the drama, with the near falls and all that. So I think, and we have a great worker in CM Punk and a very good worker in Cody Rhodes. I wouldn't call him great yet. I guess you would call him a great worker.
I think he's on par, like somewhere between very good and great. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think very good. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, he's somewhere in the middle, but Cody, he's somewhere you could put with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying he's great, but he's somewhere you could put with anybody. He's not going to have really a bad match. You know what I'm saying? So,
he'll have some snoozers.
but this match was solid. I'm not saying it was the best match of the weekend, but it was pretty solid.
Yeah,
It started off very slow, but like you said, I think it was done on purpose to build up the drama and the intensity. Because by the end, like they really like got cooking. You
hmm
know, with the exception of Punk doing that botched moonsault, never do that shit again. I
yeah,
hope he like I don't know what he was thinking. Like he could have killed Cody. Like he landed right on Cody's head. I'm like he could have killed Cody or hurt himself. You know,
yeah.
like never do
But
that again.
I think they made the right choice in having Punk keep the belt.
Yeah, and as a Cody fan, I'm not even mad at either. So having Randy come out, that it made sense, and it didn't make Cody look weak or anything like that. So and it protected everybody involved. You know what I'm saying? So it keeps the feud with Randy and Cody going. So I'm wondering how that's going to go because the whole reason they started feuding because of circumstance because Randy wanted to be champion and Cody had what Randy wanted. And that's what made Randy snap and go back to being the Viper, the evil Viper that we know from Nine. But now that Cody's not the champion no more, I'm just like, well, what's the vendetta now? Because Punk has what Randy wants.
I
So
mean, yeah, I don't know what that was
I guess it's just personal now. I don't know.
because
Maybe.
I honestly think, yeah, it's a weird thing to say. I'm glad Punk won.
Mhm.
What I would have wanted is Randy to come out and hit Punk, and then Cody doing, his whole "I'm a good guy" corny thing, being like, "Hey, what are you doing? I don't want to win that way." Blah 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 blah. Maybe the ref is out like last time, and then Punk still wins. So then that gives Punk and Randy that thing going forward there. Because now I don't really, we'll see, but I'm like, I'm so tired of the Cody and Randy thing. It was just awful this
It's,
year.
it's just one more story for Cody to finish.
Yeah, I think you're kind of seeing it though, man. Like Cody's a popular cat with people still. I'm taking that away from him, but like you see the main event guys, it's the Punk, it's Roman, it's a Seth, possibly an Oba.
It's not no possible. It's a definite.
So we'll see where we. I mean, I'm not going. He's set up to be there. I think Cody, you call him a main event. He's like in the lower tier of that, though. I got to be real. I got to be real, Tim Lewis. I mean, are
And
you gonna sick Oba with Cody Rhodes? That's a waste of Oba Femi right now.
they already fought
When?
at Saturday's main event
That
last
was
December.
nothing. That was no, 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 no. And that was the worst match of the whole night, by the way.
Come on now.
And
It
that was a whole thing of like just like that was like an exhibition.
it was, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as you talking about. It wasn't even
It
bad at
was by
all.
far the worst match of that night.
It wasn't bad though.
It was
If
just
if you're
mediocre.
if you're ranking the matches, if you're ranking them, then yeah, maybe it might be last,
It's
but it wasn't
clearly last. It
it
wasn't
wasn't a
like,
it
is it
wasn't a
last? It's
bad it
clearly
wasn't bad.
last.
It
It was
wasn't
clearly
bad.
last,
It
man.
wasn't bad.
It was okay. It was like it was Cody. It was milk and toast.
I think because there wasn't a decisive winner and Drew got involved, that's what ruined it right there. But it wasn't a bad match at all.
It was milk toast. Cody doesn't give you a lot of. He's not sour milk, but he's milk though.
See,
Like it's
see,
not spoiled.
so you think CM Punk would have gave you better against Oba?
Cody is milk, and he's. I'm not going to say he's almond milk. You know, he's got some. He's
Would
like
s-
2%.
would CM Punk fare better against Oba? That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Really,
Yeah. In every
really,
way. In every
really.
way. In every way. In the build up. In a build up. In Cody hasn't given me good build up since he's been
Yeah,
back in this
we
company.
know Punk can build up a match on the mic. We know that. But I'm talking in the match.
You think Cody would do better than
I think
CM Punk?
I think he did all right. I think he held his own.
No, 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 no. That's not what I asked you. You think Cody would do better than CM Punk against Oba?
And what, the match or the build up?
The match. We'll go with the match.
Well, we've seen what happened already. Like
That wasn't a feud. No, that was a John Cena requested to bring up young folks. It was a nice thing to highlight the future.
whether it was
At his
whether it was exhibition or whether it was storyline canon, still the match happened and Cody held his own. It was still a solid match. It wasn't like great, but we didn't see the full potential of it because
all I know
of
is,
interference.
and this will be the transition to Oba and Brock. If you give me Oba versus Roman Reigns or CM Punk, I'm equally happy at a WrestleMania. If you give me Oba and a Cody Rhodes, I am going, what are we doing? What are we doing with our lives is what I'm going to be saying. So, I mean, God help us if that's what's coming next year in Riyadh, because then I'm not waking up or watching that none of that early. No,
My God.
no, that is boring, boring. Next year at Riyadh, Cody needs to fight Kevin Owens again.
So you think Kevin Owens is the only one that can save Cody?
I think that's the only thing that could, because they won't be main eventing. So, there'll be like the fight
Well,
before the main event. So
well,
that's fine with me.
yeah. Well, last thing, then we'll move on. So it was a solid match and stuff like that. But do you think they made the right decision jump starting this early instead of saving it for WrestleMania? You think it worked better here at SummerSlam rather than saving it for WrestleMania next year?
What?
Cody and Punk.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it was meant to be at WrestleMania next year, but they fast tracked it. So you think
much better to
Okay.
get it done now.
Okay. So what do you
You
think?
can't take that chance in
Yeah,
Saudi Arabia with Cody being so boring. You can't take that chance.
come on now.
So it's just the truth. I'm
He-
sorry. I like Cody as a person, but he
he's
needs to change.
it's Roman, it's Punk, and it's Cody. They the top three guys right now.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Well, before we get
I'll
to,
take Seth Rollins over him. I mean, you give me merchandise. I'm sure Cody, yeah, with the kids, his merchandise. If you're going by that, sure. But just who is more? I think Seth Rollins has been more main event worthy and giving you more main event moments than Cody has since WrestleMania 40. Post WrestleMania 40, I think I've enjoyed, and Seth is giving you more of that than what Cody has. He just has. But let's go to someone who's the future and hopefully won't be wasted on Cody Rhodes. Oba Femi going up against Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell. What was the main event of the night? The trilogy. It was 1-1 between these guys. Brock came out. Oba came out pretty strong on the offense. I will say this is the best, in my opinion, of the three matches. This was the best one of the three.
absolutely.
Was night one of SummerSlam. How do you feel about the storytelling with this.
Well, we talked about it a little bit last night after the end. I feel like it wasn't perfect, and did we need a trilogy? Did we need this match? No, but I still kinda give them credit for going the extra mile, especially for Brock, because he doesn't need to do this, but the fact that not only did he put over big at WrestleMania, but then to come back and do the favor again, because if you look at Brock's track record, he rarely loses to somebody once, but he rarely loses somebody twice. You know what I'm saying? I think I can count maybe on one hand how many people beat him in WWE twice. I think Cody Rhodes so far is the only one. I don't know who else beat him more than once, but Cody so far is the only one. And now Oba
Yeah,
joining
'cause I
that.
don't think Roman beat him twice.
I'm sorry, yeah, Roman did beat him twice. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
okay.
So Cody and Roman, they the only two that have beaten Brock more than once.
Now, what about Cena over the years?
No, Cena's only beaten him once.
At Extreme Rules, that's it?
Yeah, yes, that's the only one.
They didn't have a match earlier and where Cena beat him?
Mm-mm.
Not for like a not on a PLE, you're talking PLEs?
Well, I'm talking in general.
Right, okay, Cena only beat him one time.
One time.
Okay.
Yeah, because before that, the match they had before was like years ago in 2003, and Brock beat Cena there too at Backlash from '03. Then every other time after that, Brock dominated Cena. You know what I'm saying? So, but Roman and Cody, they the only other two that beaten Brock more than once. I think Roman's beaten Brock like 3 times. I think. Yeah, so Roman's the only one to beat Brock 3 times in WWE. That's crazy. But Oba, he joins that elite club, people that have beaten Brock. Like that says something. That says, like I said, like on our SummerSlam episode, our Mr. SummerSlam episode, like Brock, he's gonna do what he wants to do, but he'll go all out. If he sees something in you, if he respects you, like he'll do the favors. And he really did a big favor for Oba Femi coming back when he didn't need to. We thought he was done at WrestleMania, but he came back with the extra mile and not only put him over and did the favors in his hometown. Like Oba got to beat Brock in his hometown, and then Brock giving that speech and putting him over even more, telling like that's the future and stuff like that, really putting them over, really cementing it, putting the cherry on top. Like that's something very uncharacteristic of Brock. Like he doesn't really do that. That says like how much he really rocks with Oba. You know what I'm saying? So time only tell how Oba carries the ball and runs with it. We'll see, but this puts Oba over in a big way, and right now he's a made man.
Yeah, I was glad. I knew Oba was gonna be going over. I thought the match was good. I do so I'll say that about the match, it was a good match. I think, honestly, it's the match you shoulda had at WrestleMania. You shoulda had what you had at SummerSlam, at Mania, and you really needed just one match between these guys because it takes away the Mania of moment now.
It does. But overall, the story, like, because it's very similar to Brock and Cody's trilogy from a couple years ago, from 2023, which Brock kind of did the same thing for Cody, where he went off script, shook Cody's hand, raised his hand, and stuff like that, passed the torch to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's very similar to that, except this time it's like a little bit more intense because now they're in Hell in a Cell and all that stuff like that. But Brock really did an extra. He did more because he actually went on the mic and really like laid it in, like, "Hey, this is the future. This is gonna be the next guy. He's next. He's the new next big thing." You know what I'm
I thought,
saying?
yeah, don't get me wrong. If what you're saying is Brock did a nice thing. He showed he can be a nice guy. That's cool. And if they're, when we get down to talking about Brock Lesnar as wrestling fans and his legacy, that moment will be there as he did. That's where he's a team player and a nice guy. That's for me personally, Tim. That's separate from the storytelling. That's just a separate thing of he was nice, but I still felt like the moment was wasted and it didn't feel as strong that it could have been if they did it right. And I don't think you need to have 3 matches where I think Cody needed that because we texted a little bit last night, the size difference between the two, Cody needing to kind of go through something and also to kind of give you enough of a gap or time before you get Cody back with Roman. You needed something to kind of take up that time, which was fine. But I will say, I think it kind of showed Cody's tough, and Cody had to earn it the hard way. He wasn't just given the title. All that being said, yada yada yada, is why Cody needed that where Oba did not.
So you're saying like Oba should just walk in, just get the title?
No, it's about beating Brock. No, you're missing what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but it's
Yeah,
like
but Oba wouldn't have the title right now. That doesn't mean Oba would have the title if he is if he beat Brock. I'm not saying you need to give him the title.
I I don't like disagree or nothing like that. Like I do feel like it didn't need to be a trilogy. I just think the story that planned out like it wasn't perfect, but if it wasn't for the fake retirement at WrestleMania, it probably would be a little bit more smooth. You know what I'm saying? And if they say Brock's return, say if they didn't have the match at Clash in Italy and they say Brock's return for say like King of the Ring and Brock costs over the King of the Ring in the finals and stuff like that. You know, and Seth was in the final. Instead of Jey Uso, you had Seth Rollins because Seth did end up facing Roman tonight. Have Brock come in, cost Oba. Seth goes over. He becomes King of the Ring, faces Roman at SummerSlam. Then it justifies the Hell in the Cell. You know what I'm saying? That probably would have made a better story. It made it more shocking, more appealing. So if it wasn't for the fake retirement and everything like that, and they had kind of smoothed things over in the middle, I get what you're saying. Probably would have been better. But outside of that, it just gives another obstacle for Oba to overcome. He didn't need to because he's basically a big dude. He's basically like, the black Brock Lesnar, basically. Same type of run, too. Like when Brock first came on the scene, he dominated everybody, won King of the Ring, beat The Rock at SummerSlam for the title. We thought Oba was on that same trajectory. Didn't necessarily go that way because he did win King of the Ring, but he forfeited his chance just to get back at Brock and sell the score because he felt, he couldn't achieve that greatness and win the title because Brock was still in the way, basically. So he had to get that monkey off his back, get Brock out the way, and put this behind him.
And let's look at it. Oba in this short time at like these months in between Mania or SummerSlam, if there's a time to get, Oba and Cody out your system, you could have done it here one of these times and have them, it's not where the money is. Like it's not like a big thing. So have them go there. Like you could have done things with Oba too. That would have been all right. I mean, you could have kind of made him just do appearances, make him kind of a special attraction if he's going to be the next kind of Lesnar type. I'm just saying, for a WrestleMania that was one of the worst of all times, the only real highlight moment is washed away and wiped away. You know what I mean? Like that's what's disappointing. And
I don't think it takes away from it. I get what you're saying. I don't think it takes away from that. Like that, like when we look back at this moment, when they show this in highlight reels 10, 20 years from now, we're not going to even think about the buildup. We're just going to look at the moment. Like when you look back at highlights from Hogan and Andre at WrestleMania 3, they don't talk about the buildup.
yes, they do.
Outside of Andre turning heel and joining force with Bobby Heenan, that's like the only thing that comes up.
That was the buildup.
Yeah, but that's one clip. They don't talk about what happened the weeks in between that.
Yes, they do.
When?
Plenty of people do. You talk about the next week, or I think it might have been the next month. I don't know. Saturday Night's Main Event when Hogan went on Piper's Pit and he go, "Will you fight Andre the Giant at WrestleMania?" Hogan, yeah, and the crowd goes
that
crazy.
was the same night.
No, it was not. I put everything on the line. It was not the same night. The night that Andre turned heel, and it ends with the chain ripping. The segment ends with Piper going, "You're bleeding, you're bleeding."
Right.
Like that.
They cut the commercial and they came back and that's when Hogan answered the challenge. Right.
No,
That was the next week.
yeah,
I could have swore you said they cut the commercial and then they came back and that's when
you could have
Hogan
swore who said
you.
when.
Well, when we did the episode,
What episode?
it was greatest promos when
I didn't say that. I didn't say it was. It was the next week.
it was next week.
Yeah, or the next showing. I don't know when. Saturday night, like if that's on Main Event or Superstars. The next time when they aired next in the storyline.
I could have swore that was the same night that happened and stuff. So you saying the time when when Andre turned heel and
I mean,
Hogan,
we're getting off track here. Like it.
but my
Because
point,
the buildup was big
yes,
and anyone will talk about that was a great buildup throughout. And people do talk about the buildup. That's why there's Andre the Giant in the documentaries and Hogan stuff, and they built it up to sell out 93,000. You know how your former company lies about the attendance. So the buildup is
more
talked about,
allegations.
almost 40 years later. So yeah, you do talk about the buildup.
Well, majority of the time they bring up the match and the moment when he slams Andre. Like you rarely hear about the build up. The only time they bring up the build
I
is like
just said the bill. You know I'm right, and you just pissed over it. Okay, all right.
so 20 years from now when they show this in highlights, are they going to talk about the build up with Brock and Oba? They're just going to talk about when he gives him the fall from grace, and yeah, Brock leaves his gloves in the ring. And while yes, everything that happens after does kind of taint it a little bit, but that's still a big WrestleMania moment though. That's going to live in
It
infamy.
taints it a lot. It
It's
taints it
still
a lot.
it's still a big moment, and then this is also a moment
We
too.
thought it was a big moment, and you've said it. You said the same thing, that it was disappointing, and the way they made Oba look. I don't know, man. First, you get me on the Hogan Andre thing, like that. Of anything, that's the wrong thing to talk about because of WrestleManias with build up. I think is top 1 and 3 are like top of the list. So like I don't know how you can even say that. That shocks me. But yeah, no, I just think a lot of this will determine where Oba is in a few years. So if Oba has a great career, then it becomes part of the story. So then that's really what it shakes down to. But I look at there's certain moments that even if you don't have the greatest career, that was a moment.
It is. I just think just gotta give it some time because it's in wrestling. Things may not go the way we want it to go, but that's the beauty of it too. Is like they could take something and they can make it canon and just make it part of the story and stuff like that. Like, oh, it wasn't supposed to go this way, but we made it part of the story, and now it's a part of this person's legacy. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's something like Triple H? He was supposed to win King of the Ring, right? And then the curtain call happened. Stone Cold wins King of the Ring. That's part of his legacy now. The curtain call is also part of Triple H's legacy and stuff like that. And him having to crawl and scratch his way to the top, you know, to eventually becoming the Game and stuff like that. Like that's all part of his legacy and stuff like that. Or Matt Hardy, Edge, and Lita, even though it's based on a real life situation, with some infidelity, unfortunately, but that's always going to be a part of Edge's legacy. You know what I'm saying? Even though Edge is beloved now, he's a legend, but still, that was like a tainted moment in his legacy, and Lita as well. You know what I'm saying? But that's always going to be part of their story. You know what I'm saying? But they made it a part. It's one of the most infamous stories in wrestling. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? From a real life situation. So it just all depends on how they go with the flow going forward. So
Yeah, I hear you. You said a lot of stuff. You did. You said a lot of stuff that I hear. I'm not disputing. Like I know how wrestling goes with the story. I do. Trust me. I'm with you, but I just think this was unnecessary. It took a great moment away that could have been legendary, and then you didn't give me great. You gave me an okay match at Mania, but it would have been like so. That's the only way you can call it Hogan Andre was like the match really wasn't great at either one of those for Mania, but you had
I'm
a moment there,
I'm just talking about like the moment. Like when we
and I
look back,
think the second match sucked,
the second match, Clash of Italy, yeah, it wasn't really nothing much to really write home about. But
which hurts.
this match definitely made up for Clash of Italy. Was it needed? No, but it definitely made up for that. And Brock, giving, bigging up Oba at the end, definitely add the extra ice on the cake. So that, I'm grateful for, and I'm glad he did that and stuff like that. So it made for a great moment. And I feel like while SummerSlam is not WrestleMania, still people are going to be talking about this moment for a long time. So now the question remains is like, because originally, had they went with the original plan, Oba would have faced Roman, but then we wouldn't get that instant classic with Roman and Seth tonight. So which would you rather have, like Oba and Roman, with Oba potentially going over, and completing his, you know, mimic like Brock Lesnar arc, or would you have this
I know
instant
you're
classic Roman
framing
and
it as
Seth?
either or. I don't think you don't have to give me an either or, but I would rather have seen Oba and Roman then. If you're making me choose, yeah, I didn't need to see Oba and Brock. I didn't need to see it again. So his speech lost its luster. Besides, now you can say that's just a mark in the feather for the Brock stands of Brock's the team guy. That's all that means to me. I didn't feel nothing where we all felt something WrestleMania. when Brock did that. I felt nothing, and I don't think anyone really did feel anything because of just the reaction. It was people clap because they're, we're trained to do that, but it wasn't buzzing with the emotion, even online, like Mania was. You know what I mean? That wasn't the same kind of buzz. It just wasn't. So that message means, as far as storytelling, I don't care.
Yeah. It's just the fake retirement for me. I feel like if he didn't do what he did, taking his gloves off, I get they're trying. Now that we know it's like part of the script now, because originally he said like Brock went off script. That wasn't planned, but now that we know what we know, I feel like if he didn't do that, if they didn't do that, and he came back, went away for a minute, didn't say anything, it probably would have been a little bit better, even though we didn't need
It
it.
would have been a little bit better.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would have been better. So yeah, I see what you mean, but still, like Brock doing this, like you know what I'm saying? That's a big rub. And Brock doesn't do this for everybody. He doesn't do this for anybody. He doesn't do this for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like that says a lot. So really, it's Obafemi's game to lose now. It's on him. You know.
Let's be real, it was anyway. It was anyway. It's been since the build up, since honestly the year turned, since we got to January of this year. After it was like he's the future at the Saturday Night Main Event when he fought Cody. And it was like, yeah, he's gonna be the part of the future. And then from the Royal Rumble on and all that, it was leading that way, man. It honestly was. So it's been his year. It skyrocketed even faster, but it's been his to lose. The Brock thing meant nothing to me,
Yeah. Well,
and that's very forgettable. And thank God, I will say Roman and Rollins gave us that match because I don't know, and I'll be honest, I don't do that. I mean, The Rock didn't give a moment like that to Brock Lesnar. That match is what it is because of Brock's career, but that match was whatever. Like, it to me, it's just like a footnote. It's just like Brock became the youngest champion that night, but that match is whatever. I don't think people are over hyped. That match doesn't have moments that people are going crazy over.
it, it's cool. It was an okay match. Like
So
all it did was
Oba
propel Brock
Oba
Lesnar.
if has a great career, this will be a footnote. That's it. It went from a moment to a footnote now.
Well, now that the Brock Lesnar chapter is closed in Obafemi's career now, and we can move on. I mean, I'd imagine because the original plan was for Oba to face Roman at SummerSlam, but now that plans have changed, and what I've heard is they're setting up Oba and Roman for Mania. So, which would make, and you just said like Brock and Oba, that was the bigger moment at Mania. Now, Oba beating Roman at Mania potentially for the world title, assuming Roman's still champion by then. Would that be a bigger moment for Oba than him beating Roman at SummerSlam?
Yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, I
but
mean,
you're making it seem like those are the only 2 options. So I'm answering your question just on that. You know, just like I know, just like a lot of wrestling fans know, there's not just 2 options. Like, it's not like there's like the roster's that small and everyone's depleted and all those things. There's not that. So
I
Oba
mean,
didn't have to just either fight Roman or Brock. Like that's not what he had to do. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that's
see,
but
oh, so you rather see him fight Cody?
if you're gonna give me the option of saving Roman and Oba for for Mania, then yeah, I think it'd be something different for Cody. Cody is a popular face. The only thing about that is I think maybe it's too early for that face on face kind of thing. And then you don't want people to be out on Oba, as much because Cody is a popular face. So that's the only thing. Like right now, I think it might be too early to do that. But yeah, I would have done Oba and Seth. I think that would have been really good. I think that could have been exciting. I think
Yeah,
you
I
could
think
have
they
done a lot of
will.
different
I think
things.
they will get to that, and also because if you think about it, Seth is the one that sicked Oba on Brock right before WrestleMania. So they have that common thread. They have that link together. So maybe something happens where they do run into each other again, but they have that connection though. You know what I'm saying? So I think that could work too. That could be a good feud within one day, maybe. I don't know.
So I guess I want to wrap it up with an interesting match. It match that opened the whole weekend, and we had talked Wednesday about Liv Morgan. And Liv Morgan is featured heavily on the new season of Unreal on Netflix. And we talked about Triple H calling her a ring general, and Liv is very over, very popular. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think we're both big Liv Morgan fans. Liv had a match with Io Sky. Io, one of the best workers in the business, male or female. How do you think that match went? Do you think Liv showed that she could be that she is a ring general, or are you still not sure?
No, no, Liv definitely went out there and wrestled like she has something to prove. I know lately she's gotten a lot of criticism, but it really shouldn't she shouldn't have any blame because just like with Jade Cargill and her situation from late last year to early this year, they didn't give Liv much of anything to do, you know what I'm saying? Outside of, like, her doing stuff with Dom and stuff like that. She didn't have any contenders. She wasn't defending the title. She was barely wrestling, you know. So they didn't really give her much to do. And the fact this is her first title defense in 100 days is kind of crazy. So, and I wasn't sure what the outcome was because they are her and Io already wrestled at Night of Champions in the Queen of the Ring finals, and they already gave Io the moment by having to go over Liv, which it didn't make sense for Liv to be in there anyway since he was already a champion, you know, but whatever. So I was wondering, like, where are they gonna go with this? And then also, is the curse that Danhausen put on, is that still in effect? Is that still gonna play a part? I obviously, as we know now, it didn't play a part, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm guessing they must have plans for Liv going forward. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they heard the criticism. Maybe they realized they need to buckle down and lock in, especially with Raquel being Intercontinental Champion now. So that could add something to it as well. Maybe they build to Liv and Raquel going to WrestleMania next year because they've been teasing that for a while, or maybe a triple threat with Roxanne. But you know,
I just don't understand because you got Roxanne, you got Sol Roca, you got Jordan Grace. So, I mean, especially more with Jade. With Liv, the only thing I can think of is Liv does get hurt a lot. So if you're trying to protect Liv with the injuries,
yeah, but
fine. But Jade made no sense. But like they act like there's no women on these rosters.
yeah, and it's crazy because it's
Nia
20.
Jax is here.
Yeah,
Like there's plenty of Alexa Bliss is here. There's women on these rosters, even just for a one-on-one kind of match here. You know, Tiffy Time was whatever, or Chelsea Green. You could just have them do something that night on Raw or on SmackDown. I
you
don't understand why they're
Paige
not
is
wrestling.
You got Paige back. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. Paige is back and the stupid Bellas. Like, there's ladies out here to be wrestling. I don't understand. The stupid yeah, jeez. We're not talking about that. Oh boy.
Even though we saw the turn coming from a mile away, but yeah, whatever. You know,
Yeah, I mean, Becky was around.
I think Becky.
Lila Lila Valkyrie, like, Bailey, there's women here. Why are you not wrestling people here? Like, I don't understand that. It's a champion. Not saying you gotta be overexposed, but that we're going 100 and something days, or Jade Cargill just sat around for months, it felt like, and wasn't the best. I mean, what she's good, she's a physical presence. So then she's not the best mic worker, not yet. Maybe she can get better, but it's like that made it worse because she couldn't talk the rivalry up good anyway either. So like that made her and Rhea kind of like just suck. So I don't get why I feel like the women's division has come a long way, but then there's just still like something there that the prejudice and bias is still there. I'm gonna say it. It's still there because I feel like you have so many talented women and it doesn't feel like that it should be on par. The men should be scared. The men should feel like every month a woman's storyline could be the main event. That's how I feel, but it's not that.
Yeah, and we talked about it too on Wednesday that a couple weeks ago on Raw, there was no women's matches, no women's segments hardly on Raw a couple weeks ago. Like it was just all male dominated, which is kind of sad. You know what I'm saying? Think about it too, especially when you had women's matches to promote for SummerSlam, but you don't have any women's segment. Like it made no sense to me. But just sticking to SummerSlam, this match did deliver, and Liv and Io both showed, you know, why they're two of the best of the division right now, why they're at the top of the card. And they definitely they kicked off SummerSlam right with this one. And like I said, Liv looked like she had something to prove because she was getting criticism, like people thinking like, oh, she's not who we think she is. SummerSlam, she definitely proved who we think she is. You know what I'm saying?
Is Liv the number one woman as far as the whole package, as far as popularity, box office, on the mic skills, in the ring? Is she number one right now in the women's division?
I wouldn't say number one.
Who would you say number one is?
I say Liv is up there. She might be a solid number 2 or maybe a 1B to someone. I would say because maybe Rhea,
I feel like Rhea the past year slipped.
but Rhea still gets those reactions. She still gets those pops no matter what. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
So
let's be real. I feel like Rhea, since
that's just my unbiased opinion. I think Liv is up
her and
there.
Io right after that the Mania last year, I feel like Rhea kind of went kind of sliding here. Rhea wasn't it. I mean, she's still it as far as popularity, but well, I'm not looking at just popularity. That's a big part of it, but it's also the mics. It's the whole enchilada. I feel like Rhea hasn't had a really awesome matches like she was having. I don't know. I'm wondering if there's been a tide turned
Well, I think
after Saturday night.
well with Rhea being absent now, and like you as you just mentioned, I guess you could say Liv is number one just because of how much she's featured and you know her marketability, popularity, whether heel or face or nothing, something like that. You could make a case for Liv being number one, but I just think the general consensus and based on how the company promotes her and stuff is believed that Rhea is looked at as number one for the women's division and stuff.
Yeah, I know in the past couple years, I would say Rhea for sure is a top lady, and I think Liv was probably the past definitely 2 to 3 years, number 2, and a part of that was definitely due to her feud with Rhea and the whole Dominic thing, that elevate Rhea helped to elevate Liv. Liv was popular already, I'm not saying Liv was like a nobody or nothing like that. She was popular, very popular, but that really put her to, like, top of the division, i.e., top of the company. That's why they were on the first Raw on Netflix in 25. They were one of the featured matches, and the only women's match was a Liv Rhea, which
Yeah,
was a
because
big deal.
a couple years ago it was Rhea and Bianca. You know what I'm saying? And they
Yes,
and
yes.
they and they were both battling to see who's gonna be the top woman in the division. And now with Bianca out, the finger injury and now pregnant and stuff like that, Rhea's kind of like I'm not gonna say overshadowed, but she's kind of taking that spot.
That's
You
what
know
I'm
what I'm saying?
saying. That's what I'm
And
saying.
now you got
Yeah.
Liv, who's in the past 2 years, who's came up and kind of even surpassed Bianca a little bit. As far as like just being featured in like storyline wise and all that marketability, all that. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Because
yeah,
Bianca, you have this the best of ability is availability. You hear it
yeah,
in sports all the time. You
yeah,
hear it on the job the workplace. And so you're right. When you get to WrestleMania 41 back in 2025, the top ladies, no doubt, it's Bianca and Rhea. We were wondering why did you throw Io Sky in there for that triple threat? Now I was glad that they proved us wrong, and that was an instant classic match. So that, honestly, that's Bianca's final really like singles match. That's a classic that she was a part of for that. But I don't think it will be. I think she's going to come back. But just saying, like that was a classic one. But when you're gone for at this point a year and a half, you can't be the top. Now Bianca could come back in 2027 and within like that, she's back in that top spot. So it can happen. But like Liv, you said, Liv surpassed her, and I think Rhea kind of hasn't because she's also I hate to just with what she's been going through, and we've said it, we hope she's okay. She's not like the power like, I don't know what Rhea's identity in the ring is right now.
yeah. It seems like she is kind of like going through the motions a little bit. Like I said, as far I'm just going off how the company views her and how most fans view her in the general consensus. Like she's still popular. She's still like being marketed like one of the top female stars, even when she's not there. Like they just show the commercial featuring her in like one of those mobile video games and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and she's still featuring those Cricket Wireless commercials and stuff. So she's still being heavily marketed even when she's not on TV. But as far as like her, like seeing her, like she just doesn't have the same type of swagger that she's
Well,
had
let
the
me
past
ask you
couple
this
years.
though, because there's marketing and then there's just the attraction. Cody is marketed more than Brock Lesnar to me, but Brock Lesnar is the bigger attraction
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
company.
yeah. I give you that. Yeah. I'll give you
So
that.
that, and I'm not saying that that's an equal, but I'm just giving the example. So, like, I know Rhea is marketed more, but right now, I just think, seeing Liv on Hot Ones with Dominic and just stuff like
And now her music video and stuff now too.
right, I just feel like the tides might be turning is all I'm trying to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
you know? She did give I was skeptical on the ring general stuff, but they gave a very good match to open SummerSlam, which is not an easy thing. People think that opening match is like whatever. That's I think outside the main event, the hardest, like the biggest pressure is the opener.
Yeah, those are probably the 2 toughest matches to work, the opening and then the main event and stuff. I mean, if you find a spot in the middle, you could probably try to steal the show and get people talking there too, but
Or if you have a bad match, it's people can forget it more in the middle.
yeah, yeah. Or let's say a match in the middle somehow steals the show, gets the crowd riled up, and the crowd is exhausted, and you go after that match. Like, for example, Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania 18, and then the ladies had the unfortunate task to follow that because I think there was a triple threat. It was Jazz, Lita, and Trish. They had to follow that, and then Jericho and Triple H. You know what I'm saying? So it was unfortunate for those people, because they had to follow that, which Rock and Hogan, we know that was the real main event of WrestleMania 18, or Shawn Michaels and Taker at WrestleMania 25, and everybody has to follow that. So that could be a hard task too to go after a show stealer. But yeah, Liv and Io did a great job with that. Fantastic opening. I was expecting like Soul to come out and maybe help out Io since Io helped out, tried to help out Soul Monday on Raw. And I was expecting, hoping that Stephanie Vaquer would come back, but I guess Stephanie's injuries might be a little worse than I thought. So yeah, Io, no assistance, but Liv, she got all the help from the Judgment Day girls and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think the Judgment Day surprises me that I keep thinking they're gonna wrap that up,
they just keep going, man.
and they keep going, and honestly, I'm not sitting here going like, "What are we doing?" Like, they keep giving wrinkle I think there was better times. Like,
Yeah,
this
for
isn't
sure.
its best iteration, I'm not saying that, but it's still interesting with, led by the ladies now,
Yeah, like it's more women in the Judgment Day than it is the men now.
and I guess what, man? I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I know the main event tonight was a whole Shield storyline, but as a faction, Judgment Day is way better of a faction, in my opinion, than the Shield.
Wow. Would you say Judgment Day is the top 5, top 10?
I'm not saying they're better than the Shield. They're better than the Shield. So I'm not going. They're definitely not a top 5 faction
Top 25, top 50?
for sure. That I don't know if I'm top 10. I mean, the amount of time they've been going and doesn't seem like they're going to end. It's impressive.
It's like they're in a race with the bloodline to see who can extend the story more.
In the Bloodline's a top faction. That's going to be remembered. That's better than the Shield. The Bloodline to me should be if when Roman's career is done, we should talk about that before the Shield. But they'll say the Shield because of how great Seth is and stuff and that's where it started. But I think the Bloodline's a more impactful faction for Roman than what the Shield was. But yeah, Judgment Day is becoming where as a faction, they're a Hall of Fame. They as a faction can go into the Hall of Fame right now.
Wow.
Yes, yes. I mean, you gotta
Wow.
look at it they helped to elevate what they did for Dom. For Rhea's career took off,
Yes.
and she became a trailblazing leader for the ladies from the Judgment Day.
Megastar.
Megastar. Even Priest had a title run. What it did to bring back R-Truth. R-Truth had some of his most popular stuff with the
Yeah.
Judgment Day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dom Mysterio becoming one of the big uprising stars of the 2020s.
Dirty Dom, Latino cheat.
Kept Finn Balor kind of around for whatever reason, but he was, now we're going to see him back to being boring. But he was actually interesting these past couple years being part of that faction.
He was interesting, but he also needed to get away because he was always playing second fiddle, whether it's to Rhea or
There's a
Priest
reason.
or Dom, you
There's a
know.
reason.
But he needed to be back on his own. Like we
Yeah,
wanted
he
to see.
needs to try.
Yeah, I think it's time we give Finn a second chance at a solo run and see what he can do there.
It was a good try. Yeah.
I'm not
I
saying he
mean,
needs to be face the company, but he definitely deserves another shot at the title though, because he never got that
I
fair
don't
shake
even
because of
know, like,
injury.
tonight's match in that Intercontinental number 1 contender, or no, I mean, the number 1 contender for the title. Did you really even I don't even Finn was like a non it could have been me or you as that other person. Sammy, I remember. Gunther,
Sammy,
KO.
Sammy only because of the KO and their connection and stuff like
Exactly,
that.
but guess what? That means, Finn is a distant fourth that
Come
it could have been a triple threat match, and you know which one you're taking out for that. Finn Balor was a non-factor. I don't even remember Finn Balor.
now look, with when it was just originally one on one. Originally, I had Finn going over, but then when Gunther got added, I was like, oh yeah, Gunther's about to steal a victory.
Look at that.
He's got to get more heat. And
Instantly,
and
you
then they
said
brought
that.
Kevin Owens. I was like, oh, this just got interesting now. You know what I'm saying? So
Where's
now
Finn?
Finn is still there, and he has his moments too. Like, come on
Where's
now.
Finn? Finn is, you like Stranger Things. He's Barbara. He's
That's
Barb.
a
Where's
different
Barb?
Finn. That's a different Finn. That's a different Finn.
Finn is Barb right now.
We're not in Hawkins, Indiana. You know what I'm saying?
No, we're here. We're here. That's where he is. It's like
we're not in the
Finn
upside down. We're not in the
Finn
upside
had
down.
his time in the 2010s, and that was where he had his time
He can
when
still have his
Vince was
moment.
running it, and they were still kind of PG corny. Like Vince was running it. Finn was boring. Finn needs to go back to the Judgment Day. JD could have used him tonight against all them little Danhausens. JD could have used that. Would have been funny. Finn would have got it. Finn would have. JD is more remembered for this SummerSlam than Finn Balor. I bet you more people remember that thing. People who were in Minneapolis in the arena tonight, they will think of JD and all the little Danhausens. Then they're like, "Oh yeah, KO returned. He beat Gunther and Sammy." Well, yeah, Finn was in that match too. Oh, right, right, right. He was. You're right. I forgot Finn was in that match. Okay, he beat Sammy, Gunther, and Finn. Man, I forgot. Like that's happening all throughout Minneapolis right now. Is they're saying that? Oh, Finn was in that too. Like that's what's being said.
Look,
He was there?
you're only as good as your next match. So we just gotta build on the future and what happens next and stuff like that. Obviously, KO, he's the number one contender now. I don't think he's gonna beat Punk for the title, even though that would be kind of cool because he hasn't held a world title in quite some time. But I think Finn will have his moment in due time. You know what I'm
Finn
saying?
who?
Finn Balor,
I know I said Finn who.
the Prince,
That's what he's going by.
the Prince.
Finn who? No one even. I don't remember him even in the match, and I watched that match. And I tweeted about it on our Twitter page,
Finn,
TLC Wrestling Pod,
Finn
Twitter/X.
can be a major player. He can be a major player. Like I just talked about earlier, how they need to build on bringing new players to the main event scene or making new stars like Chad Gable, like Penta. Finn could be one of those guys too up there. I'm not saying he needs to be face the
He's not
company.
new.
I know he's not new, but I'm saying like new as far as like new blood in the title picture outside the same people like Cody, Punk, Roman. You know what
Hey,
I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this. This is how you know what I feel about Finn. I'd rather see and listen and watch Cody Rhodes than Finn Balor all day.
Wow, that says a lot.
Yeah, I'd rather
You
Cody
are
get that belt than Finn.
wow, you are overly hating.
Finn was boring back in the 2010s. I didn't understand it. Once he had his entrance and the whole thing, I was like, "This downhill from here." And he can work okay. He was boring. He just was. And the Judgment Day was the best he looked, and the most interesting he looked was with the Judgment. And people were insulting him, and he get mad. He's funny. He can be funny that way. It's like the little guy's upset. Like that's Finn Balor, man. I don't know.
Let's put some respect on Finn Balor's name. But I'll
He's
end
a
this.
pro wrestler. That's the respect I'm giving him. He's a good worker.
Okay,
Respect. He's
before
athletic.
before we send it home, I'm gonna put you on the spot. One last thing: who you can only keep one and erase the rest from history. So Finn Balor, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, or Sting. Keep one, erase the rest from history forever.
As far as what? Am I
Just
keeping them? Like, what am I judging them based on? Just who I like more,
yeah,
or
well,
who am I building my company around? Like, what's the parameter?
yeah, just who you rather have as a top guy, or just who you want to just keep around. or who you think is the better wrestler?
Cody of those 4. Yeah.
As a better wrestler
Yeah, better wrestler, and I keep around yeah, eh
and face the company?
yeah, I would take Cody over Finn, Jay, and Sting, yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Cody needs to change and get
Like,
mad and stuff.
as far as, like, just his attitude or his look, or
His
both?
I'll say his attitude more than his look,
Okay.
but his look can change too. The suit's gotta go.
Met Gala Rhodes.
Yeah, the suit's gotta go. So maybe that if you wanna say that, I don't need him to change his hair or his in-ring when he's wrestling. The suit, I can't stand that.
What's
I
wrong
don't
with
even
the
wanna see the
suit?
suit on the podcast, honestly.
What's wrong with
I'm
the
like,
suit?
"What are you doing?"
What's wrong with the
Well,
suit?
because that's not who you that's AEW Cody, and that's what he's bringing here. So that's bad. So Cody needs to check where Finn Balor, I don't know what he can do. I don't know. Finn hasn't shown main where Cody has had a couple of promos over the years when he called himself Raheem. Finn, I don't know what he can do as a main guy. Like I can't see it. Finn can get mad. He can do it like it's not believable. It's not whatever. Finn was good in Judgment Day as like being a funny like partner with JD and stuff like that, and he was good there, working off of Liv or Dom or Priest. That's Area. That's where Finn is at. Like,
I can't believe you're putting the ceiling over Finn Balor. There's gonna be a lot of people watching this that's gonna be mad at you right now in the comments.
are they? I mean, if they ask themselves tonight, did they care? No one. Are they getting upset that that KO took Finn's moment or something? I don't think anyone's saying that.
Obviously,
If
KO
you ask yourself,
obviously KO stole everybody's thunder, not just Finn. He stole everybody's thunder.
and rightfully so, right? Because KO
He was
is
missed. He was missed. He was missed.
yes.
He was missed.
Do you miss Finn Balor?
We care about Finn Balor.
No, I didn't say that. Of course, I care about him as a human being. I want him to live his best life and stuff.
I'm saying,
Yes.
you know what I mean. I'm saying on TV as a character.
Do we?
Yes.
So if Finn Balor got hurt, God forbid, I don't want him to get hurt. So God forbid, I mean that, God forbid. But just to go with it, you think you would say we would be talking like, you know what the men's division is? They needs that guy, especially like the main event, Finn Balor. We would say that. Like you and I said about KO, we're like KO's missed. He could have been fighting Randy or blah blah blah. KO is missed. You think we said that about Finn Balor?
I think we would, because when he won the Universal title, like everybody was kind of blown that he had to relinquish the title due to injury and stuff.
When was this again?
2016. You are terrible.
Hmm. 10 years ago when the company was in
Even today,
a totally different spot, ran by your former boss, Vince McMahon.
he wasn't my boss. He wasn't my
You
boss.
did. I mean, you got paid by them, so who was the boss? I mean, I'm not saying he was your direct. I know you probably reported to Stephanie, other people, Triple H, but Vince, he's their boss, so he was your boss too, technically. So anyway, um, you just gave me 2016. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to know. As last
Even if he
words
got hurt
I say.
today, we'd still be sad too. We'd still be sad.
I'd be sad because he's a human being, and I don't want anyone to get hurt. So, like, as far if you want to do all that, Tim, I agree. I would be sad that I don't want to see nobody get hurt. Just like in football, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. And all injuries, I feel bad for equally. But just like in football, on a football team, not all injuries are the same. The special teamer getting hurt isn't at the same as starting quarterback. So Finn Balor's not that. So I'm sorry. And this is on for YouTube. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to say I'm wrong.
Yeah, please let him know. Please let him know.
I mean, Finn Balor got to show us because right now he got so forgotten tonight. It ain't even funny how forgotten that
I
dude
mean,
was.
given the circumstances, it's like I can understand. It's Kevin Owens' return. We didn't think he'd come back, so
Is Gunther forgotten?
I think because he wrestled 2 matches and he has heat on him. I think he has a lot more heat on him. So
Was Sami Zayn forgotten?
say, come on, stop. You are
Kind
terrible.
of rose Sammy up, honestly. Sammy kind of rose. Sammy needs KO.
Only
Like
because the
KO don't
connection.
need Sammy.
Only because the connection with KO. Only because the connect.
I
Finn has
think
connection with KO too.
I'm trying to think. I think of everybody who wrestled tonight. No one was Baron Corbin.
Now that was trash.
That was, and he's more remembered than Finn.
And Melo should have been added to that match too. Like if Nick Aldis is adding people to matches, he should have added Carmelo Hayes to
We're
that.
not going to. It's just that's how bad Finn was. That Baron wrestled in a boring match and is yet more remembered than Finn Balor. That's bad. And he's part of the opening match, not a middle match. He's part of the opening match.
Regardless, the match was still fire though. The match was
Hey, people, we're gonna be ready the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna start having some T-shirts made from TLC Wrestling Pod. You can go on Twitter, buy them. Where's Finn? Like a milk carton thing. Where's Finn? Finn Balor. He's been missing since, according to Tim, 2016. That's how long he's been missing. So, but overall, SummerSlam 2026 was a very good weekend. I'm glad I was able to watch both nights, and I didn't regret watching like I did last SummerSlam, where I regretted a night. I didn't regret either night this year.
so overall, like how would you grade SummerSlam 2026?
I give it I give it a B.
I give it a B as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
solid, very solid, and a step in the right direction, I hope, and hopefully they carry the momentum going forward. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. So, thank you guys for watching. We on Tables, Ladders, Conversations, our YouTube channel. We make a promise that we're going to give you more, content for YouTube. Our YouTube channel, you get different stuff on here than you do on our podcast feed. So please listen to our podcast feed on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Our most recent episode, Who is Mr. SummerSlam, between Bret Hart and Brock Lesnar. And we also have coming up this Thursday, we'll have greatest entrance music of all time. So Tim will give his top 5 entrance music. I'll give my top 5. So see what we have as number 1 for greatest entrance music. And if you agree or disagree, that'll be on our podcast feed on coming out this Thursday. So yeah, and please follow us, TLC Wrestling Pod, on Twitter/X, and TLC Wrestling Pod on Instagram, and you can email us at tlcwrestlingpod@gmail.com.
yep,
So
and you can also follow us individually too if you want to keep up what we got going on. You can follow me on Instagram at Tim Lewis Music Official. If you want to keep up the music I got going on, or go to my website, timlewisofficial.com. And Deremy, let them know where they can follow you at.
you can follow me at TLC Wrestling Pod. That's where you'll find me. And yeah, and you can also listen to Pop Culture 5, a
Yes.
show I do with Thomas Senna as well. So
Yeah, please check that out, man. Good show.
yes, thank you, thank you. So for my tag team partner, former writer for WWE, and Cody Rhodes, his biggest fan, and I guess Finn Balor is one of his biggest fans too. This is my man Tim Lewis. I'm Deremy Dove. Thank you guys for watching Tables, Ladders, and Conversations.
Peace.